number 20, it has sine theta of negative 0.9. So the first thing you had to do was to find sine theta of the positive. So now we take and do sine inverse. So I want to go sine inverse of 0.9. And so theta is equal to 64 degrees. Now ask yourself, where is sine negative? Sine is our y's. So this is my y, so this is where it's negative. So it's negative here, and it's negative in this quadrant. So how can I find the angle that it is representing here as far as we go there? Alright, so to get this angle, we went all the way to 180, and then we have to pass it, so we have 180 plus theta. So I have, on that one, I have 180 plus my 64. So 180 plus 64 gives me 244. And then I have this one. Well, this one, remember, always has to go to your x-axis. So this one, we are finding it from your 360, and we go back. How much did we go back to get it? So we have 360 minus theta, and theta is 64, which we have 360 minus my 64. That gives me 296. Find both triangles. Alright, so the first thing we have here is I have an angle and a side, an angle and a side with only one unknown. So it means I can use the law of sines. So I have sine of 54 over 7 is equal to sine y over 8. Remember, it's always your angle over your side. So now I want to get this by itself, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. Gets rid of that. And on this side, I have 8 sine of 54 divided by 7. So I have 0.925 is equal to sine of y. To get y, I have to take the sine inverse. So I'm going to take the sine inverse, and I get, so I take sine inverse of my answer, and I get theta to be, or y to be, which is theta, about 68 degrees. So that means that I have, I'll move this up a little bit, not too far, so you can see it. So we have our triangle 1 is, our first one we found was our x was given, so we have 54, or 54 was given. We just found our 68, we just found this one right there, and now I have to find this angle up here. So I'm going to take 180 minus my 54 minus my 68, and that gives me 58. Now triangle 2 is because we have this 54, but it could have been 68, or where else is sine positive? Sine is also positive here. So I have 180 minus my 68. So 180 minus 68 gives me 112. So this could be 112, and if this was 112, so I have to see, we have 54 plus 112, and we have to subtract that from my 180. So this is a 14 degree. Then we have left is to have our 8, our 7, and then we still have to find z on each one. So we have sine of 68 over 8 is equal to, we need to use this one, so we have to use sine of 58 over z. I'm going to cross multiply, so I have z sine of 68 equals 8 sine of 58, and I'm going to divide by sine of 68. So we have, clearing that, we have 8 sine of 58 divided by sine of 68. So z on this one, z is 7.3. Now I want you to pause it, and I want you to find z here, and then come back and see if you did it right. Alright, so did you put your, it doesn't matter which one you put, but I'm going to put, you know you have to use sine of 14 over z, and that can equal either your sine of 112 over 8 or sine of 54 over 7. So I was given the 54, so I'm going to do sine of 54 over 7. I am going to now cross multiply, so I have 7 sine of 14 is equal to z sine of 54, and then divide by sine of 54. So 7 sine 14 divided by sine of 54. So z is equal to 2.1. So in summary of that, triangle 1, we have your x was 58 degrees, your y was your 68 degrees, and your z was 7.3. Your triangle 2, you had your x was 14 degrees, your y was 112 degrees, and your z was 2.1. Let's go do our last problem. Find all values exactly s, t, y, and z. So the first thing I have is I'm given this angle right here. So what it's doing is it's asking me from my original, and this is a 3060 up there. So this is 3060, so 30 across from 30 is a 1. Jason is square root of 3. Hypotenuse is your 2. On the other one, your 4545 is 1, 1, square root of 2. So it's asking me, what did square root of 3 be multiplied by to get 9? So square root of 3 times what gives me 9? Then I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. So I have 9 over the square root of 3. I can't have that, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by square root of 3. So I'm left with 9 square roots of 3 over 3. 3 goes into 9, so I can reduce it. So I have 3 square roots of 3. That is my scale factor. That is what I multiplied every single side by to get that. So all I have to do is come back and multiply everything by this. So I'm going to multiply 2 by that to get z. So z then is, let's make our, so we have your s, t, y, and z. So we're just going to multiply, so we go 2 times the 3 square roots of 3. So that's 6 square roots of 3. Then I'm going to multiply this by 1. So I have t is 3 square roots of 3. Multiply this by 1 to get s. So s is also 3 square roots of 3. And then y, I have to multiply these two together because y equals your square root of 2 times my scale factor. So we have 3 square roots of 3. So I have square roots. When you're multiplying square roots, you have square root of 2 times the square root of 3. That gives me the square root of 6, and the 3 comes out front. So y is 3 square roots of 6. Alright, well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday.